Plus developed an online crowdfunding platform for schools and parent associations to use. I'm now going to step you through how the platform works and how schools can use it. So you can see here on our first slide, this is an example of what the platform looks like once you have published the project. So we've got a small tile here where it's got the photo, it's got a short little blurb about the project, so a little snippet enough to get a donor interested, and then they can click to find out more, or they can directly donate there and then. Once they click on the Find Out More button, it takes you through to the laptops. Well, in this example, laptops for learning, but it takes you through to a broader project description. So it's a much longer description. You can have multiple photos. It's got the target and the goal that they are trying to raise for, and how much they've already raised as well. In this example, you can see that they've broken down their target into bite-sized chunks. So they've really put a donation level against an item that it might go towards to support with their fundraising.
And that's really useful, isn't it? I think there's lots of research actually that shows that encourages people to donate at those particular levels. Gives them a bit of an incentive. You know, if they were going to donate for $15, they'll knock it up to 20. Yeah. To kind of, because they understand what that's going to go towards.
That's right. So how to register your school and your project. So I'm going to run through that on our website. So firstly, we would go to the Schools Plus website. And on the Schools Plus website, you can see that there is a button for schools. And under that are some different menus of ways that we can support schools using through our different programs. So please feel free to explore that and how we can support your school. In this case, we're looking at the Fundraise Yourself platform, and we're going to log in and register the school. So we click on the school login register button, which takes you through to this page, and you click on the register button there. Some things to think about before you get started. So you'd need to have on hand your logo as a JPEG. You need to have your principal's email address and phone number, and details of a second contact who will be involved in the project, and your school bank account details. There are some guidelines to read as well, and these guidelines go into more detail around what's involved with using the platform, and we've highlighted some here that you would need to tick to get through to the next section. So the project must lead to improved outcomes. The school is going to be responsible for driving the campaign. Funds raised will be transferred by Schools Plus on a monthly basis, and my school will be required to fill in a short acquittal form as well. So then you click on the next button. We've preloaded all of the eligible schools into our system already, so you can just start typing your school, and all of the schools eligible for support will come up. So you can choose, so in this example, we're going to choose this school, and it will search through the system and you click next. This is where we are gathering the information about the school ready to be registered. So you would upload your school logo here, the school website, phone number, so anything with a green asterisk is mandatory to include, school email, and this is gathering the information around of the principal and an alternate contact. So it could be any contact at the school that is relevant to what you're trying to do with your project. And this is where we collect your banking information, so we know where to transfer those funds. So it might be into a school bank account if the school is going to be paying for the project elements, or it might be a P&C who is paying those invoices and spending that funding. So just include the relevant bank details there, and you press submit. So once that has submitted, you then have access through to the back end of the platform. So this is what the platform looks like when you register. It would have your school logo, it would have your school name there, and there's some different headings that you can access different areas. So, for example, our resources tab. This resources tab contains all different types of resources and templates that we've developed that might be useful for your project or getting those funds in.
So this is where you'll find things like the project plans that we were talking about, some sample project profiles to help you kind of figure out how to write your project profile, but also things like the emails that you might send out to potential donors or to local businesses, or even a kind of template for a media release if you're trying to get a bit of local media coverage for your fundraising campaign as well.
That's right. So we've tried to include as much in here as we can that will help support your campaign. Always adding to it. If you have extra things that you think would be really useful, please get in touch and let us know. So here is list all the projects that you might have listed that you are fundraising for. If you do want to create a new project, you click on the Create Project button, and this takes you through to the project form, and this is where you will start talking about what it is that you want to raise those funds for. So having some clear ideas and messaging around that project is going to be really useful for you at this stage. And what we do recommend is typing that project information into a Word document first. That just helps you, gives you a backup in case something happens, but also helps you get your thoughts together and how you want to write that story. Again, make sure you've read those guidelines. We've got writing tips, project writing tips in the resources section to help you with that. Have a clear photo, but make sure it's under 2 meg, and a photo that's really going to promote and share what it is that you're trying to raise funds for.
Yes, I can see questions come through from Ben. He's asking whether his school could put up a couple of projects at a time. What would you advise around that?
So yes, it does just depend. If you are approaching your broad community, we recommend having one project up at a time so that you're able to share and keep that support to just that one project. If you have in mind a particular business or a particular grant or something that you're going to find funds for that's completely different, you can absolutely put a second project up, and because you're just targeting one audience for that project. So it really does depend, but in general we would suggest concentrating your efforts on the one fundraising project at a time. So with this, we're collecting who is the project contact. Now this might be different depending on who is actually driving that project. So you would just choose who that is and include their details there. There's some information here that just to give us a bit of an idea around how it is that you are fundraising. So is it being driven by the Parents and Citizens Association? Are you raising money for a building? So there's certain things here that we would need to capture to give us that information. And around, a project title, so something catchy that's going to catch people's eye, and how much is it that you're wanting to fundraise for. Here, project categories, so choosing a category that's going to fit in with what it is that you are raising funds for, because this will help when people are searching on our website, if they are looking to support a girls focused project, for example, there is a section there that they can choose, and it will show all the girls focused projects. Here, how many students are going to benefit? So putting that in, are there teachers that are going to benefit as well? When are you going to start your actual fundraising campaign online, and when is that going to finish? Again, this is different to your project start and end date, potentially, because your project may not start until you've raised enough funds to get that project started, or it might start before you've started fundraising. So these might be different, but your fundraising online dates are really focused around that fundraising effort that you're going to do. And the project start and end date is really focused on the implementation of that project. And here is where you're going to be capturing and writing about your project. So we've put some couple of hints here. So why do you need donations? Tell us about the activities that are going to take place. Who's going to benefit and what difference will this donation make? So write it as though you're appealing to a donor, because this is what they're going to see on the website.
Absolutely. This is, I mean, what this will do is, this is the information that will go onto that project profile that you'll then be able to share around with all your network. So yeah, you want to, this is really where you want to tell that compelling story about, you know, how they're going to make a difference.
That's right. And here is just that short description, and that's the description that appears on that tile. You can upload up to 4 images that will appear on your project. You can even include a video if you've got a video that shows what it is that you're trying to raise funds for. You might create something fun with the students to get that message out there, so you can include that link. And here is where you can list those donation levels. If you did want to chunk down that target, you might have some different levels here. So we've said, for example, you would say my donation level is $100, and this could pay for 5 books for our reading group. Budget table, list out here the types of items that you will be purchasing with the funds that you've raised, and make sure that the total equals your fundraising target that you've indicated at the top. And then there's the T's and C's, and once you tick those, you submit for review. What happens then is it comes through to myself, and I have a read through with fresh eyes. So I'm looking at it saying, okay, if I'm a donor, does this make sense to me? Is this clear of what they want to raise funds for? And I would have a conversation with you about maybe changing some things or any questions that I might have about that project. And if all good, we then publish it, and it then appears back on our website.